Architecture is both a functional necessity and a cultural expression, a blend of art and science that shapes our environments. It reflects societal values and technological advancements, embodying them in tangible forms. From the pyramids of Giza to the skyscrapers of New York City, architecture connects us across time and space. It not only provides shelter but also inspires awe and stimulates appreciation for aesthetics and innovation. Understanding architecture allows us to better appreciate the spaces we inhabit and the environments we shape. It is a testament to human creativity and ingenuity, standing as a marker of our civilization's progress and a mirror of our cultural identity. The journey of architecture begins in the dust-laden winds of ancient Egypt, where the monumental pyramids stand as some of the earliest expressions of architectural genius. These structures were not merely tombs, but symbols of the pharaoh's divine status and their eternal journey into the afterlife. Mesopotamia introduced the ziggurat, a massive terraced structure that served as a temple complex. Its receding levels represented a stairway to the heavens, emphasizing the civilization's spiritual aspirations and engineering prowess. In ancient Greece, architecture took a philosophical turn with the introduction of the classical orders, Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Buildings like the Parthenon were embodiments of beauty, symmetry, and harmony, reflecting the Greeks' search for ideal proportions and balance. The Romans furthered architectural science with innovations such as concrete and the arch. The grandeur of the Roman Colosseum and the engineering marvel of the aqueducts showcased not only Rome's architectural ambition, but also its societal organization and emphasis on public welfare. Following the fall of Rome, Europe entered the medieval period, where architecture became a primary expression of religious devotion. The Romanesque style emerged, characterized by solid, heavy forms, thick walls, and rounded arches, as seen in the robust structure of the Abbey of Sainte-Foy in France. As the medieval period progressed, the Gothic style evolved as a stark contrast to Romanesque solidity. Gothic architecture, exemplified by cathedrals like Notre Dame in Paris, used pointed arches and flying buttresses which allowed for taller structures and larger windows. This not only enhanced the building's aesthetic appeal, but also filled the interiors with celestial light, inspiring awe among the faithful. The detailed sculptures and stained glass that adorn Gothic cathedrals also served as biblical teachings to the illiterate masses, making these buildings not just places of worship, but also centers of community life and learning. The Renaissance marked a rebirth of classical knowledge and ideals, which deeply influenced architectural styles. Architects like Filippo Brunelleschi and Leon Battista Alberti turned to the ancient texts of Vitruvius, rediscovering principles of symmetry, proportion, and perspective. Brunelleschi's dome for the Florence Cathedral revolutionized construction techniques, using a double shell with structural ribs. Meanwhile, Alberti's treatise on architecture laid out guidelines that balanced beauty and function, integrating art with natural philosophy. This era saw the rise of humanism, where architecture was seen as a visual representation of the intellectual achievements of the period. Buildings such as the Palazzo Rucellai in Florence embodied this blend of scientific knowledge and artistic endeavor, setting a template for future architectural endeavors. Baroque architecture emerged in the late 16th century as an expression of the Catholic Reformation's grandeur. Characterized by dynamic shapes, expansive colonnades, and elaborate ornaments, Baroque buildings were designed to evoke emotional responses and convey the glory of the church. Architects like Gian Lorenzo Bernini in Italy exemplified this style in his architectural and sculptural works, including the Ecstasy of St. Teresa. His design of St. Peter's Square with its massive colonnades represents an embrace of the faithful, symbolizing the church's outreach. In secular architecture, the Palace of Versailles stands as a pinnacle of Baroque opulence, with its hall of mirrors and expansive gardens, reflecting the absolute power of Louis XIV, and serving as a symbol of royal authority and French cultural preeminence. The Industrial Revolution brought significant changes to architecture, introducing materials like iron, steel, and glass. These materials allowed for the creation of structures previously unimaginable, symbolizing the era's technological progress. The Crystal Palace, designed by Sir Joseph Paxton for the Great Exhibition of 1851, was a marvel of its time, constructed entirely of glass and iron. Its modular design and prefabricated components not only represented industrial efficiency, but also marked a turning point in architectural design, emphasizing transparency and light. The introduction of skyscrapers in the late 19th century, with the Home Insurance Building in Chicago being one of the first, utilized a steel frame that allowed buildings to reach unprecedented heights. This innovation was not just a technical achievement, but also a response to urban density, fundamentally changing city landscapes around the world. Modernism in architecture emerged as a reaction against the ornate styles of the 19th century, advocating for form follows function. This principle emphasized the idea that a building's design should derive directly from its purpose. Architects like Walter Gropius and Ludwig Mies van der Rohe led this movement, promoting simplicity and clarity through the use of new materials and technologies. The Bauhaus school, founded by Gropius, became a seminal influence in modern design, teaching that every aspect of architectural design should serve both aesthetic and functional purposes. Frank Lloyd Wright, another pioneer of modern architecture, introduced the concept of organic architecture, which promoted harmony between human habitation and the natural world. His design for falling water beautifully illustrates this philosophy, using cantilevered terraces and natural stone that seem to emerge from the surrounding landscape. Postmodern architecture developed in the late 20th century as a counter-movement to the strict rules of modernism, reintroducing ornament and references to historical styles. This movement sought to address the perceived sterility and impersonality of the modernist buildings. Architects like Robert Venturi championed the postmodern movement with his assertion that less is a bore. His Vanna Venturi house displayed a complexity and contradiction in architectural form, challenging modernist orthodoxy with its playful engagement with historical architectural elements. The Portland Building by Michael Graves is another exemplar of postmodern architecture. With its colorful facades and decorative motifs, the building incorporates a whimsical style that breaks away from modernism's functional austerity, making a culturally symbolic statement. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, sustainability became a crucial aspect of architectural design, driven by environmental concerns and the need for energy efficiency. Sustainable architecture focuses on minimizing the environmental impact of buildings by enhancing efficiency and moderation in the use of materials, energy, and development space. Architects like Norman Foster and Renzo Piano have been pioneers in sustainable architecture. Foster's Swiss rebuilding in London, also known as the Gherkin, incorporates energy-saving methods and natural ventilation systems that are integral to its design, reducing its reliance on artificial cooling. Sustainable techniques such as green roofs, solar panels, and the use of recyclable materials are becoming standard practices in contemporary architecture. These approaches not only contribute to reducing carbon footprints, but also create healthier, more innovative spaces for users. Futurism in architecture is marked by innovative, forward-thinking designs that often incorporate the latest technologies. These buildings often test the limits of current methodologies and materials, pushing towards new architectural possibilities. The work of architects like Zaha Hadid exemplifies futuristic architecture with her fluid, dynamic forms and space-age aesthetics. Her Haydar Aliyev Center in Azerbaijan features sweeping curves that suggest movement and fluidity, challenging traditional architectural forms and conventions. Emerging technologies such as 3D printing and intelligent responsive building systems are likely to further influence architectural design. These technologies promise not only to change how buildings are constructed, but also how they operate, potentially making buildings more adaptive and sensitive to their environments. Architecture is a powerful cultural symbol, reflecting the values, achievements, and aspirations of societies. Buildings like the Sydney Opera House or the Taj Mahal not only serve functional roles, but also act as cultural icons, shaping national identities and contributing to cultural heritage. In places like Japan, traditional architectural styles reflect the cultural emphasis on harmony with nature seen in the design of their traditional houses and temples, which blend seamlessly with their natural surroundings. In contrast, the bold, elaborate designs of Baroque churches in Latin America reflect the historical influence of Spanish colonialism and the Catholic Church. As globalization influences architectural styles across the world, it also prompts a dialogue about preserving cultural identity while embracing modern innovation. This balance between heritage and progress remains a key challenge for architects today. Architecture often serves as a canvas for societal values and political statements. Buildings can be manifestations of power, ideology, or social order, influencing perceptions and behaviors of the public. The Reichstag Dome in Berlin, designed by Norman Foster, represents a transparent and open approach to democracy. The glass dome, open to visitors, allows people to view parliamentary proceedings, symbolizing political transparency. In contrast, the opulence of the Palace of Versailles was a clear statement of absolute monarchy, designed to impress and overwhelm, reflecting the king's power and control. Similarly, brutalist architecture, with its stark, concrete structures, was often used in the mid-20th century to convey strength and stability in governmental buildings. The design of architectural spaces can significantly affect human behavior and emotional well-being. This interplay between environment and psychology is critical in places like schools, hospitals, and workplaces. Environmental psychology suggests that spaces with adequate natural light, open views, and connectivity to nature can enhance mental health and productivity. For instance, the design of a classroom can influence learning outcomes, where factors like light, acoustics, and furniture layout play significant roles. Architects increasingly consider these aspects in their designs, aiming to create spaces that are not only functional, but also conducive to health and well-being. This holistic approach to architectural design is becoming a standard practice, recognizing the profound impact buildings have on human psychology. Today's architects face numerous challenges, ranging from urban sprawl and environmental sustainability to social inequality and preservation of historical structures. Urbanization, for example, demands innovative solutions for housing and transportation, while climate change requires new approaches to building design and construction. One of the major challenges is designing buildings that are both environmentally sustainable and economically viable. Architects are also tasked with creating spaces that enhance community engagement and social cohesion, often in densely populated urban environments. Additionally, the preservation of historic buildings presents its own set of challenges, requiring architects to balance the need for modern functionality with the preservation of historical integrity. This often involves innovative techniques and materials that can seamlessly integrate old and new. While architecture has traditionally been a male-dominated field, the contributions of women architects have gained recognition over the years. Pioneers like Eileen Gray and Zaha Hadid have broken through barriers, creating innovative and impactful designs. Today, organizations and movements seek to promote gender equality in the field, advocating for more opportunities and visibility for women architects. Despite progress, challenges remain in achieving equal representation and overcoming gender biases within the profession. The increasing recognition of women in architecture not only enriches the field with diverse perspectives, but also inspires future generations of architects, ensuring a more inclusive and balanced architectural discourse. The integration of technology in architecture has opened new horizons for design and construction. Digital tools and software have revolutionized the way architects visualize and execute their ideas, allowing for more precise and complex designs. Innovations like building information modeling, or BIM, enable architects to create digital blueprints that can be shared and modified across disciplines. This not only improves efficiency, but also enhances the accuracy of architectural projects, reducing costs and construction errors. Moreover, the advent of 3D printing in architecture allows for the creation of complex, customized building components at reduced costs, offering potential for more personalized and diverse architectural expressions. These technological advancements are reshaping the landscape of architecture, making it more dynamic and interconnected than ever before. Preserving historical architecture is crucial for maintaining cultural heritage and identity. Restoration involves a careful balance of modern engineering and respect for traditional techniques and materials. Techniques such as laser scanning and 3D modeling have improved the accuracy of restoration projects, allowing architects to preserve the original integrity of historic structures while ensuring their stability and safety. Challenges in restoration often include finding suitable materials that match the original constructions and implementing modern amenities without altering the historical aesthetics. Successful restoration projects not only protect architectural heritage, but also adapt it to contemporary needs, ensuring its continued use and relevance. Architectural education has evolved significantly, incorporating hands-on experience and interdisciplinary learning to better prepare students for the multifaceted nature of the profession. Educational institutions now emphasize the integration of practical skills with theoretical knowledge, offering students opportunities to work on real projects and interact with professionals in the field. This approach not only enhances learning, but also prepares students for the complexities of modern architectural practice. The discussion on architectural education continues to evolve, focusing on how best to equip future architects with the skills needed in a rapidly changing world, including sustainability, technological proficiency, and social responsibility. As we have journeyed through the evolution of architecture, from ancient constructs to modern skyscrapers, it is clear that architecture is much more than the creation of buildings. It is a reflection of human aspiration and cultural identity. The future of architecture holds promising advancements in sustainability and technology, aiming for more responsive and responsible designs. The profession continues to evolve, challenging architects to think creatively about how spaces can enhance human life and safeguard the planet. By embracing innovation and respecting historical contexts, the field of architecture will continue to influence and be influenced by the broader societal changes, shaping the environments in which future generations will live, work, and play. Thank you for joining us on this expansive tour of architectural history and its ongoing impact on the world around us.